Hello, and welcome to another update video about Solana. Sharp decline today. The trend is still down locally, and we haven't seen a reaction to the upside yet. So basically, there is not much to add really to the last update. But obviously, I know a lot of people asked for an update because of the sharp decline. But we haven't even broken support. So this is all still covered within or as part of this scenario, this still unfolding fourth wave correction. We want to talk about that in this video. The micro pattern might have shifted a little bit, but again, also that is not necessarily the case. So I want to tell you about the next support levels that we need to be watching, and also what the patterns are that could now unfold, the key pivots, and where one scenario morphs into the next, even though the levels haven't changed to the last video. The only thing that has changed is the resistance area. That obviously needs to be adjusted with the price as we go lower, because it's based on Fibonacci mathematics, and the more this move to the downside stretches out, the more also the Fib levels to the downside will go down, really. Before we dive into the micro patterns here, quick reminder that you guys voted on Twitter for a coin for me to analyze just on Twitter. And I uploaded this video today. WIF did win. Yeah, WIF was the winner. Dog WIF hat. I think I've never covered it on YouTube. So it is one that was exclusively updated on Twitter today. So check it out if you're interested. You'll find the link to the Twitter account, Twitter channel on in the YouTube video description. There is we do that every Saturday, so yeah, check it out. Let's get back, however, to the Solana chart. Here, yeah, the idea is still that this was the top of a D wave, or at least a more significant top. As I said to you, I've got two scenarios I'm observing. It is either the top of a B wave in the white count, and we're now moving down in the C wave. To avoid that scenario, which would just mean a 5-wave move down, which probably would reach the area around $109. We can calculate that just now. But to avoid that, the price needs to turn around to the upside before breaking the $119, $120 range. We talk about these swing lows here from July, May, and April. Why is that so important? Because in the yellow wave count that I'm tracking, this Elliott wave triangle, A, B, C, D, E, the E wave will get invalidated if we see a break below the $120 level, which is the C wave low that formed end of June. So that's really the invalidation point. Until we break below this, there is no change to the scenario. And even if there is a change to the scenario, it isn't really a change, because it just means that the idea of an Elliott wave triangle in a wave 4 morphs into a flat correction, which is still a wave 4 correction and doesn't change much when we look at the bigger picture. All it means is that this is turned from a triangle which could break out directly to a more, let's say, substantial A, B, C correction, which has been our, let's say, plan B for a while. But even in this scenario, the Fibonacci extensions indicate we might not see, much lower. It might just be a marginally lower low below the invalidation point, because the next support will be around $109, which would then be, in the white count, the next possibility for Solana to reverse. The problem I have with this decline here is it is quite sharp, quite direct, and doesn't really give me a very clear microstructure. That's really the problem here. I could identify up here a 1-2 setup, but is this all part of a third wave internally within wave C? Maybe. Yeah, it's difficult to say. I wouldn't stress so much about the microstructure. And it's even possible this is some kind of a WXY structure, and then in the Y wave we have an ABC like Bitcoin. So I've kind of said, okay, we've now come down low enough for this to be the entire E wave maybe, but we will have to see how the price reacts to support. So at the moment, there is still no confirmation that the low is in place. When I made the last video, while we were at a key pivot, also in the last video, there was no strong upside impulse or anything visible that would indicate that this downtrend is over. In fact, let me see if we can now maybe add a trend line here. I think in the last video I tried to apply a trend line. There wasn't really anything. I mean, this one maybe, but again, we have a fake out here. I don't like that when we have a fake out on a trend line. It just looks like cheating, and I don't think it is then a reliable trend line. So let's take it out. Sometimes we get really good trend lines that can be helpful. Yeah, but here the last swing low would now need to break. So $153.70. I want to see a break above the last swing low as an early indication that a low has formed. Bear in mind, we are now, if I go to the daily chart, in the daily chart, we are on our way to the oversold region of the RSI. Haven't done it yet. We're not oversold. 4 hour, however, is deeply oversold. No bullish divergence yet. 1 hour chart, oversold, no bullish divergence yet. You can, that means we might see another low, a few more downside adjustments to form a bullish divergence, but there is no divergence is needed for a reversal. Either way, the trend is still down, so we're still forming lower lows and lower highs, so the analysis hasn't really changed. But obviously, we just take a look and we just observe these relevant Fibonacci support levels for possible reactions. So just to summarize, what are the next support levels? We've got $134.20, and then that's the next Fibonacci support. And below that level, we have structural support at 120, and then $108, $109 as next Fibonacci support, but it would then be within a larger C wave, okay? Within wave C of 4, not within a triangle. Still a wave 4, but the triangle would then be invalidated. This is pretty much it. So levels haven't really changed. I think it's important to watch for the next Fib supports. Also down here around that $134 level, there is previous structural support. But yeah, very, very volatile at the moment here on the Solana chart. But the idea of a triangle is still absolutely valid. If not the triangle, then the white ABC structure. Both scenarios allow for a wave 4, and both counts allowed for further upside in this bull market. But the short-term trend is still down. So sometimes it might be wise to wait for a first 1-2 setup to the upside, which could give us an indication that the next rally has started, as we identified it here, right? So you don't necessarily want to guess where the low forms. You can just listen to the market. Here we had a 1-2 setup, and the price then followed through to the upside. So we're waiting for something similar here as a first signal that a low is in place. That's the update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.